my mama used to always tell me, she say, Sendtohope, always learn how to turn your hand and make fashion. And I've grown up, you know, I've come up with that belief. And so my creativity comes from, you know, basically, you know, essential living. Whatever I have to do to survive, that's what I'm doing. And so I hope that my dishes, even as eccentric as they may be, will not deter, you know, or throw anybody off, but that it will motivate you to use what you have in your neck of the woods to make it work the best you can. So today is one of those days when I'm gonna make something work. I have some tofu right there, yeah, from Trader Joe's, and my lighting is strong on my tofu, but yeah, see there, some tofu from Trader Joe's. I may have some saltfish from I just take out of the pot. I put this to blanch for 20 minutes. I change the water from the saltfish, you know, to get out some of the salt. I desalinate it, and I have this saltfish here, and I also have some creamed coconut, yeah, from Grace, and I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna turn my hand and make fashion, or like my mama said, turn your hand and make fashion. I'm doing saltfish and tofu rundown. Yeah, that's what I'm doing today in Yardie Belly's kitchen. This is Taste Buds. Join me right now. Here is a list of the basic ingredients that I will be using in my rundown. I have 4 cloves of garlic, 2 plummy tomatoes, 1 onion, and 2 stalks of scallions or green onions. I also will be using a little bit of green seasoning and a little bit of ginger garlic seasoning, and you know, just whatever else I find in the cupboards that will serve me. I will show you as I go along. Once again, there's no hard and fast rules to my cooking, and so my measurements and all of those things are very, very flexible based on your taste. All right, guys, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with breaking down my tofu, and then we move on from there. So here I have my tofu, and I just pull this out of the pack, and this is organic tofu, guys. And so you know, there's mixed reactions to tofu. This is how it looks. It's firm, you know, and I just put it on the napkin to absorb some of the moisture, and I'm just gonna slice it now, you know. And as I said before, there's mixed reaction to tofu amongst vegetarians and vegans, with some people saying, listen, it's not good for you, other people sing its praises. And it's just one of those ingredients that I've often seen and want to try, and decide that, you know, maybe I should try it. All right, so I have my tofu all cut up right there. Let me see if I can pick up one and show you. Yeah, see it here. And this is pretty much how it is. The package says it's sprouted, so I don't know what that means really. I think it's having to do with the way it was made, or you know, the ingredients that made it. But that's none of my business right now. All right. So I'm just gonna season my tofu, guys, with some basic ingredients. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna season my tofu with some basic ingredients, and I will try to show you what I'm using, because I'm gonna sort of fry the tofu. All right, so let me start first and foremost with my coconut lime seasoning, and this is powdered seasoning, as you can see. Coconut lime, all right, and then I have a little bit of Old Bay, just a little bit, and I have my garlic, spicy garlic seasoning that I'm gonna use as well. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is, my hands have been washed, I'm just gonna take the tofu and lay it on the plate like such. All right, now I could cut these smaller. You think I should cut them smaller? See, I'm too big.
You mean to cook it up?
I could just make them in.
It gonna be like the size of the saltfish?
Sorta.
Or
So
you
I
cook
could
it after you
I could
fry it?
do like triangles like so. You know, just to, because I want the tofu to be the star of the show. So I don't want it to be too fine. So let me just make triangles. All right. And as I said before, guys, my mama always tell me, turn your hand and make fashion. You know, so we have to be creative in the kitchen. Otherwise, we run the risk of eating boring food. You know, I wouldn't really want a boring food. All right, so I'm putting some of my garlic pepper. All right. We have cornstarch, babes. Can I get some, please? I'm putting my garlic pepper, and I'm putting my Old Bay. Yeah. I'm not putting any salt, because the Old Bay has a little salt already, and so I'm not putting the salt. And I'm gonna dust this side with some cornstarch. Now, what the cornstarch does is the cornstarch helps to make it crispy. Yeah, crispy, not crispy. All right. And then I'm gonna turn it over to Jesus. Turn it over to Jesus. I'm gonna turn each piece over, and on the other side I'm gonna do the coconut lime dressing. So each side of the tofu will have its own unique flavor. You know me crazy already, right? Yeah. Turn it over to Jesus. And I remember you could have fried this up and just eat it like that, you know. Yeah, just fry it up and eat. I have it like that. All right, so now I'm just adding my coconut dressing on this side, my coconut seasoning on this side. Yes, yes. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna go back over it again with the cornstarch. Light cornstarch dust, or you know. Yes. And this now I'm gonna put in a non-stick pan on medium heat with some oil in it. I'll make this fry until it's golden brown, and then I'm gonna add it to, I'm gonna start finish up my dish, you know. All right, so it look nice, don't it? All right. Next thing, I'm gonna fry. I'm gonna make it marinate for. You can make it marinate for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you want, or you can go straight to the pot. Because again, tofu is one of those ingredients that really don't have no flavor. It is what you put on it, and I'm gonna do a whole lot of, you know, building of flavors. So you don't really have to make it marinate a whole heap of time. So let's get cooking. Okay, so we just put them in the oil now. We have about maybe 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, and we're just layering them. I purposely didn't make the stove piping hot because I don't want them to burn, you know. I just want them crisp up and get nice and toasty. All right. So once these start to get nice, we will turn them over, and then we're gonna take them out of the pot and start building the rest of the dish. All right. Yep. And see how them looking nice from one side. You know, we're flipping them now. Look nice and ting. Yeah. And we just want them to get a little bit more toasty on each side, and then we move into the rest of the creative dishes. Yeah. So I like how them look. They like them, see?
Start to firm up.
Start firm up. Right. That's nice. And the dusting when I give it not burn or nothing, it just nice and toasty. Smell good in the house too. It not smell bad. For an ingredient that really don't have a character of its own, it a go on good. It a hold on good. You see me? Remember me tell you. So now I'm just gonna saute my saltfish right quick. Again, the same reason why I did the tofu is the same reason why I'm doing the saltfish. You want it to be a little bit more firm because I'm gonna make a sauce for it. You don't want it to break up, so you saute it right quick, you know. So I'm just gonna make this fry up a little bit before I start build and add my ingredients then. Maybe I could put a little bit of coconut oil in this just to make it infuse it with that flavor. And that's just 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And there was maybe about 1.5 tablespoons of oil previous to that was in the pot. What I did, just clean up the oil that was in there from the tofu, and yeah. Alright, so let that go and crisp up a little bit, and then we start add with stuff in it. Yep. Start look nice and toasty. Alright, I'm gonna add some ingredients now and get this cooking underway. Now add my onions. And these dry ingredients is just gonna flavors is just gonna run out of these things into your saltfish. I promise you. Just keep the pot dry same way. And if you notice, I don't break up my saltfish into too much of a fine piece. I just allow the natural cooking process to break it up more. Why if you look something for tea? Yeah. It not the taste. And next I'm gonna add my garlic. 4 cloves of garlic. You may add any amount of garlic that you so choose. Smell good already, don't it?
Good body.
Smell good body.
I didn't even realize when you fry up saltfish, it firm up.
Yeah. See, lots of time we don't allow the saltfish to do its thing first. You know. This is looking nice, guys, and I'm not even cutting the video, I'm just running it right through. Yeah. Where's the coconut milk? The coconut milk. Now I'm adding a couple sprigs of thyme, and Jamaicans we love with thyme. Thyme in almost everything. And I'm just allowing this to cook on medium fire, medium heat. Just allow it to do its thing. No pressure, no rush. Alright. Next up, I'm gonna add my tomatoes. Yeah, and some shad and benny right there, culantro, shad and benny. And what I did with the tomatoes, I blanched them, guys, so the skins would come off, and then I peel the skin. Looking scrumptious already. I promise you. Looking so good already. Yes. And I'm gonna add my scallions. Yeah. And I'm saving back a little bit of the scallions for garnish. And you can hear my microwave running. That means I'm warming up the coconut cream. Let me show you again. I'm warming up this so that I can add it to it right away. Because it comes in a block, guys, a block of coconut milk. And so if you want to add it, you can add it as a block, or in my case, I am adding it in liquid form. Well, I'm getting much of the liquid as possible. Yeah. And I'm just gonna put this block that is there in and make it finish cook out. And that's 100% coconut, guys, both cream and oil and everything in one. It's hot. Yes. And this is just gonna stay there and melt away, you know, as the heat continue to work on it. I'm gonna add a little bit more water to allow for that, and then we just allow this to go and permeate. Yeah, my new word, that, you know, permeate. So you add another half of a cup of water. Yeah, and you just allow that to do its thing. And you just allow this to simmer until the coconut is dissolved, and you will have a beautiful coconut custard. And just allow the fire to cook it down, you know, and make it go on. You see it? See it reducing in size as I play around with it. It reduces in size gradually, and what you end up with is thick, rich, coconut milk. And this is the time now when you want to taste it to see how your seasonings are. You know where you can add, what more you need to add. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to add a little garlic powder. As if I didn't have enough garlic. I'm going to add just, I add some Yardie's Kitchen. I was going to add some garam masala, but I don't want it to taste too much like curry. So I'm going to add some Yardie's Kitchen. And normally you could add some turmeric, but again, I don't want it. I've been doing a whole lot of curry looking dishes from the other day, so I'm going to try to avoid the curry thing, you see? So, right now, I just need it for just go and simmer. As though it is being, as though it has been doing. And see my coconut. This is just pureed coconut, you know, guys. This is not coconut powder or nothing. This is pureed coconut, just working its magic. Alright, so it does take a little time to absorb out and blend out and stuff, but it really adds to the dish. Alright, and my rundown is running along, and it's very much so running. You want to taste it, B? Yeah, you know, want a taste. A little taste. Here. Let me add a little bit more water. Because I don't want it to cook down too fast. I should have the pot open, you know. Yeah, so I go and watch and pray, you see it, and then come back around. So I just add the rest of onion that I had, and now I'm putting some pepper. Where you just say while I get the pepper you add? You want me to throw the whole like me?
I don't know. Let's see. Maybe hot, but I don't know what it's getting.
I'm put a big piece, so let's see what happens. If you get too hot, you pull it out quick. And there goes the last of the piece of coconut cream.
What's the name of the dish?
You know, Saltfish and Tofu Rundown. I'm going to add my tofu right now. You think I make my tofu stay no longer? As a cook down time, you know. Finishing time this. Pretty one. Don't it? Alright, so let me turn the stove right all the way down. Yeah. I'm just gonna add my tofu pieces at this time. And just fold them in. And as I said, guys, nothing beat a feel about a try. You understand? Turn your hand and make fashion. You know, all the time, you want the boring food. Sometimes you want the food a little bit nicer, you know? Mm-hmm.
What about pepper?
And there you have it, guys. Make us serve this up with some dumpling and yam and something and something and something. You see me? So the next step, after see the finishing. Where you say you want to put paprika in there?
Okay.
I don't want it change color. That's why I'm gonna put none of the color in them in there. So there you have it, guys. My saltfish and tofu rundown. Yes, I allowed it to simmer in the coconut milk for a little while, and the result is amazing. The flavors, the smells in the house is awesome. Now tofu don't carry that much flavor of its own. It's a soya-based soybean product, and there are different ways that people has used it, but however it pairs nicely. Now it might not be an appetizing looking dish for some people. You know, the wife would dress up the plate with a couple tomatoes, and me put some dumpling and 2-finger green banana. But let me tell you something, it's a great flavor, and it's a nice way to turn your hand and make fashion. And let me tell you something, my mama always told me, work with what you have. If you have rundown ingredients, a rundown you make. We have to know that it's not every single thing must be by the book. It's not everything must be stereotypical. We have to step out sometime out of the box and make things happen where we are. So I hope you guys will try this one. I hope you guys will stick and stay. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Do what you gotta do. You have been listening to Taste Buds, and this is Yardie Belly TV. Remember, live and laugh, cook and eat. Big up on yourself.